What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good Saturday morning. We have an awesome topic to talk about today. One that I've heard a lot of different opinions about, and that is, what is a 99% biker? And so we're going to go ahead and get into our introduction, and we'll get into it. All right. Love that introduction. I love hot biker babes. I love motorcycling. I love brotherhood. So all good stuff. Before we get going, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, go ahead and comment as this is going on. If there's comments that are good, I'll go ahead and show them and we can discuss it. So what is a 99% biker? There's lots of different opinions and views on this. I've heard this talked about on other YouTube channels. I've heard other people discuss this. And it seems like there is a lot of different opinions and views. And I'm not saying that one opinion or view is correct. I'm just saying that there are different opinions and views on it. So what we're going to be discussing today is we're going to be talking about some of the history of motorcycle clubs. We're going to be talking about where did the 99% saying even come from? Where did it originate? And get into it that way. And just to start out, so one of the different opinions and views, just like there's a 99% biker, there's also a 1% biker, right? And sometimes these are groups that are claiming to be 99% or 1%, and sometimes these are individuals claiming to be 1%ers or 99%ers, right? And so I just want to kind of clarify that sometimes we're talking about individuals and sometimes we're talking about groups as a whole. So as we get going, I'm going to throw on a clip here from the Wild Ones as we discuss and go into the history here. Good morning, Lance. How's it going, Lance? So we're going to go ahead and show a clip here from the Wild One. So going into the history, in 1924, the American Motorcyclist Association was formed. And the purpose of the American Motorcyclist Association, also known as the AMA, was to promote the interests of newly formed motorcycle companies. Some of these were big brands that we know of, like Harley Davidson and like Indian Motorcycles. And so the purpose of the AMA was not only to promote these motorcycle companies, but was to promote the hobby around the motorcycles. And this started with AMA promoting events and AMA sanctioning chartered motorcycle clubs. And a lot of these clubs were racing clubs. And and the AMA did awards for different aspects of this motorcycling hobby that they're starting. Some of these awards were like the best dressed motorcycle club, right? And some of these awards were awards for winning races or awards for the events that were put on themselves. And, when it first started, the AMA, these motorcycle clubs, they had like racing suits that were designed, right? So they were like pretty fancy, or they had like riding pants and riding sweaters, very different from what we see in our motorcycle clubs today, right? And that the aspect of apparel kind of changed with the motorcycle clubs when World War II happened. And so when these individuals coming home from World War II, they were riding Harley Davidsons and Indians, in the war, right? Harley Davidson had a contract with the U.S. military at the time. And so when they would come home from the war, they were motorcycle enthusiasts and they were involved in these clubs coming back from the war. But what they also brought back with them was wearing like leather bomber jackets, right? Turn this off during the ad. But they started wearing leather bomber jackets. And on the back of these leather bomber jackets, sometimes they had symbols painted on them, like pinup girls, etc. You can kind of see even in this these clips where Johnny here, if you look on the back, he's got a spray painted logo on the back of his leather bomber jacket. And so the World War II kind of changed what that apparel looked like. You know, wearing jeans and leather jackets became a lot more common for motorcyclists. Also, you know, around that time, there was some issues that was arising with the American Motorcyclist Association. And some of these issues were dealing around kind of the elitist viewpoint from the AMA on who they were allowing to be motorcycle clubs and who they weren't. Also, the amount of fees that they were charging these motorcycle clubs. And another common complaint was that the AMA was seen to be a racist organization at the time. And so there was some issues there dealing with the AMA. And so I will start out by saying, you know, the AMA had some of its downfalls at the time. It wasn't a perfect system. I mean, it was a difficult era. And so there was issues there, right? But where this really all changed, there was no delineation yet on, you know, what type of biker, you know, you were, or a label for what type of biker you were. But in 1947, everything changed. And the AMA had an annual tour that they did, the AMA's annual Gypsy Tour that was in the city of Hollister. And so in 1947, this is now we call this the Hollister Riot, right? And what happened was there was a lot bigger turnout that showed up at the Gypsy Tour in 1947 than it happened in previous years. It was said there about over 4,000 motorcyclists descended on the town of Hollister, right? And the reports are that it became basically drunken riots that broke out in the city, and there was multiple towns of law enforcement that were called in to try to control the situation. You can kind of see in these clips, this is a depiction. In 1953, the film came out, The Wild One, which is a dramatization of the events in Hollister, and it's about the Boots Fighters Motorcycle Club. And so this caused a huge uproar in the area, right? There was news articles written about this event, and with those news articles, you know, you have a lot of civilians that are forming their own opinions. And so I've heard it claimed, I've seen it written in lots of different articles that the AMA wrote an article saying 99% of all AMA members are law-abiding citizens, and only 1% were outlaws. Okay. Now, I've also, you know, done the research, and I can't find anywhere where the AMA has where this article is actually in print. And so I've heard others say that, you know, the AMA actually has no historical record that this was ever in print or writing, this quote. But it's an often used quote in lots of articles. If you go on and Google search and say, hey, 99% 1%ers, you know, you will find this so-called written quote from the AMA that they said that, right? So maybe it was a verbal press release, but there is, as far as I know, if you can find it, you know, please go ahead and notify me if you can find that written print somewhere from the AMA saying that. But it is a well-known quote that the AMA supposedly said that in a written print. And so that's what caused this 99% versus the 1%ers. And so the clubs that were involved in the riots and these other clubs, so they left the AMA and they started to stake claim on this 1% ideal, right? It's like, yeah, we are the outlaws. Yeah, we are the 1%. And they started using that to differentiate themselves. And so part of that is some motorcycle clubs had taken off their patches after, you know, rebelling against the AMA, and they cut their patches and into pieces, and then they sewed them back onto their leather vests or their jean jackets or their sweaters, and to show the difference between the AMA clubs and the outlaw clubs of what they were, right? And so that's where you have the origination of the 3-piece patches, because they had locations on their original patch, and they would cut those off and they would set it as a different thing. And that's where you get the bottom rockers often that show like where their state or their location is today. That's the historical evidence of that. Another thing that came from that is the 1% diamond holders. Is then they created the diamond 1% patch, and that was used by the big 1% outlaw motorcycle clubs to designate who they were. And so that's where we have this this really clear separation of the two, where the 99% and the 1% are. And so and I think that most people derive their 99% meaning from that. And so what that 99% meaning is, it says in the 99% are the 99% of all bike riders are law abiding, right? And so I think that's where we get that differentiation. But there is multiple stories to the 99% and who's claiming it. So I also watched something by Hollywood on Insane Throttle, and he talks about the DC Eagles. And the DC Eagles, actually, he calls them the first 99% club, right? They're the first ones claiming the 99%, but their 99% is a little bit different because theirs says 99% NFG, which stands for no fucking good. And the DC Eagles were formed by DC Danny in 1963 in the city of Chicago, and they have a club in Illinois and Wisconsin, right? And so already here we have two different meanings of 99%, right? We have, the DC Eagles claiming that 99%, saying that they're 99%ers, and they're wearing that 99% patch. And then you have this other opposite meaning, originating from the Hollister Riot and the AMA, claiming that 99% of all motorcycle clubs are law-abiding, right? And so there's definitely different perceptions and different viewpoints. And the term 99% is going to mean different things to different people, right? And let's go ahead and pause this. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and ask any. But my point is, for the 99%ers, is there is a history from where it came from. And there's also different viewpoints. There's different opinions on what it means. And as individuals, if you're a law-abiding biker, you can say, hey, I'm a 99%er. And then you have motorcycle clubs. You have riding clubs. You have motorcycle associations. You have motorcycle organizations that are all claiming 99%. And some of these are on different sides, right? And so, or not sides, but they are, they're in different categories, right? And so in the motorcycling club community, you have the 1%ers, you have their support clubs, and often, and they form a COC, Confederation of Clubs. And so, which they started after the AMA, they left the AMA, the 1%ers kind of started doing their own rallies, and they started sanctioning their own clubs and giving their own blessings to clubs. And so sometimes if you weren't a 1%er or you weren't a support club to a 1% club, and you got a blessing from a 1%er or that COC, then you were called a 99% club, but you're in the COC with those clubs, right? And so you're a 99% COC club. And then for those that aren't in the COC, there's also 99% clubs that are in the AMA. And then there's also clubs that aren't in the AMA and aren't in the COC that claim to be 99%, right? Some examples of these are going to be LE clubs. Some of them will claim to be 99%. Some won't claim to be 99%. They just say we're a category unto ourselves. We're an LE club. Other 99% clubs could be veteran clubs and or first responder clubs. And so there's lots of different clubs out there claiming to be 99%, but what that means to them might be a little bit different definition. And so I do think it's important that, you know, we understand kind of those different definitions and where people are fitting into those categories. And also that what I would like to see, there's so many different categories in motorcycle clubs in general, right? And sometimes I think we're like, oh, well, you're a different kind of club than us. But in my opinion, is like, does that matter? We're all bikers. We're all in the community. I think that we should continue to show respect and try to build a commonality between all the clubs. Instead of thinking about what our differences are, is what are the things that we have in common. And so as we've talked about the differences in 99% clubs, we have a few different clubs that we've been talking with that we're going to start interviewing that are all a little bit different, but are all claiming to be 99%ers. Some of these are going to be groups of clubs that have joined together. Some of these are going to be individual clubs that are different. And so what we'd like to start to do is to interview some of these clubs and find out more about them. How did they get started? What are they claiming to be? Why do they consider themselves a 99% club? And get to know a little bit more of that understanding between that, and hopefully build more common ground between them than there are differences. So with that being said, go ahead and shoot any comments in the description about questions or comments you have about 99% clubs so that we can ask some of these clubs moving forward. But I hope that this gives you a pretty a history of where that 99% came from. It kind of shows you that, yeah, there are discrepancies. There are differing opinions on what 99% means to different people. In my opinion, that's okay. I don't think we should tell anybody, hey, you're wrong. You're not 99%, right? And so, because that's not what it's about for us as the 99%. And so moving forward, you know, go ahead, look for our upcoming events that we're going to have on here where we're going to be interviewing different clubs because they're going to be extremely interesting. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close out this show. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time when we're interviewing one of these clubs. Thanks.